Something tells me that CM Punk's return to the WWE is just around the corner. This dude has a habit of coming back to the WWE in November because if you remember, he returned to the WWE after a 10-year hiatus at this same time last year. So when CM Punk does inevitably come back to the WWE, the question naturally is, who should he be immediately feuding with? So that's what today's video is. We're talking about the 10 best available options for CM Punk feuds for when he returns to the WWE. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications. If you're a wrestling fan, I'm confident that you're going to fall in love with his YouTube channel because we always upload daily wrestling content. And don't forget, if you want even more wrestling content, check out the Patreon, patreon.com/SantiZap. Over there, you're going to get so much more content that never gets uploaded to YouTube. Go check it out. Link in the description, link in the pinned comment. Let's start the video. Let's start things off with the guy that, in my opinion, has catapulted himself to the top of my wish list for CM Punk feuds, that being the current day 2024 iteration of Kevin Owens. And I'm making sure that I call out this specific version of Kevin Owens because I want the angry, dangerous, caged animal, vindictive Kevin Owens to go up against current day CM Punk. And don't get me wrong, I've always wanted to see CM Punk versus Kevin Owens. I've been wanting to see this feud ever since CM Punk came back to the WWE. However, the landscape just feels different because yeah, we've been wanting this feud for a while because there is history. There is beef that warrants this feud dating back to the 2000s to their beef back in Ring of Honor. And you add the fact that when Kevin Owens joined the WWE, CM Punk had already left, and the fact that now that CM Punk is back and he's yet to cross paths with Kevin Owens, it's a pretty easy conclusion to draw that this is a marquee feud that everyone wants to see. But now that you have this version of Kevin Owens, what I dare say might be the best version of Kevin Owens that we've had on the main roster to date with CM Punk, to me, you have yourself the best recipe for the best possible follow-up feud for CM Punk off the back of the already feud of the year worthy feud that he had against Drew McIntyre. That would be an insane follow-up after Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk. If CM Punk were to jump into a feud against this incredibly hot version of Kevin Owens, my goodness, that would be legendary. The matches would be fantastic. You could probably do another trilogy. You could probably do another incredibly violent match that would make sense under the context that we've been given. It's a mouth-watering feud that is also, let's face it, a dream feud that we've yet to get on mainstream TV. And we're going to be talking about a bunch of other guys that I do really want to see CM Punk go up against, but ever since this current character arc that Kevin Owens has gone on, he has catapulted himself to the very tippity top of this list. This is absolutely who I have to see CM Punk go up against, either late 2024 or early 2025. I need to see this as soon as possible. I just don't want Kevin Owens to lose any momentum or any steam as he goes into this feud with CM Punk because I need this version of Kevin Owens, this specific current date version of Kevin Owens to be part of that feud. Let's switch gears almost entirely because the Kevin Owens feud would be a feud out of just hatred and history, while this would be a feud for materialistic goods, the World Heavyweight Championship against the current World Heavyweight Champion, Gunther. This also serves the fact that it is a dream match, one of those matches that we've never gotten in any wrestling organization ever. CM Punk versus Gunther, to me, that's a matchup that you can put in neon lights and people would flock to. It also serves that itch for people that are interested and want to see CM Punk go after the world title, that they want to see CM Punk potentially get another world championship run. And on top of that, it would give Gunther a brand new challenger, a brand new feud against somebody that he's not had a match against, whether it was during his World Heavyweight Championship run that he's currently on or his historic Intercontinental Championship run that he had at the start of this year. So it's a blank slate for everyone, for CM Punk, for Gunther, for fans. It's a win-win all around. And a feud against CM Punk would actually put Gunther in a situation where he's in a feud, in a match, where he's in danger because the star power of CM Punk alone is enough to convince fans that he could be the one to dethrone the monster, the Terminator that is Gunther. I love this idea. I just love the Kevin Owens one more now. Here's another one. Let's talk about Solo Sikoa in the current iteration of the Bloodline. It's funny to think about this because this would have never been on my radar when CM Punk came back to the WWE, because when CM Punk came back to the WWE, every content creator and every WWE fan was fantasy booking all of the crazy matchups that CM Punk could have in the current day WWE landscape. And I don't think that anyone at this same time last year was particularly eager to see Solo Sikoa step up to that position, especially because we just saw Solo Sikoa go up against another legend in John Cena and give us an entirely underwhelming storyline and match. But now, kind of similar to Kevin Owens, we have the best version of Solo Sikoa currently gracing the television screens of wrestling fans across the world. And it's not really hard to make a connection to go from point A to point B, that being CM Punk versus Solo Sikoa, because you have a narrative thread, that being the destruction of Paul Heyman. Let's not forget that SmackDown in Chicago earlier this year, CM Punk was between Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman, protecting Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman was begging CM Punk to please take me with you. And since then, Paul Heyman has been destroyed by the Bloodline, completely removed from TV altogether. And that to me is enough for CM Punk to step up to somebody like Solo Sikoa and give us a CM Punk versus Bloodline saga. It'd be fascinating because maybe this also causes CM Punk to cross paths with other people like, Jacob Fatu, which, everyone against Jacob Fatu at this point is a dream match, but also the likes of Roman Reigns, maybe the Usos, Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes. There's so many people that could cross paths with CM Punk if we were to use the bridge called Paul Heyman Bridge to align CM Punk and the current iteration of the Bloodline and Solo Sikoa against one another. I love this idea, mostly because of how much Solo Sikoa has stepped up his game, how much Solo Sikoa's stock is up in the WWE ecosystem. To me, this is almost a no-brainer that they should at the very least be exploring. Paul Heyman is returning sometime soon, likely within the next couple of weeks of me making this video. So it's very possible that a matchup between CM Punk and Solo Sikoa isn't as far away as we could potentially see it being. Maybe Paul Heyman returns with CM Punk. That's also not an impossibility. So if I was an odds maker, I would say that CM Punk's next feud after returning from his hiatus, it could very well be Solo Sikoa. I would be giving Solo Sikoa some very strong likelihood odds. Let's go into a different realm altogether. Let's talk about a guy that's not in the WWE, that being Ricky Starks. If you don't watch AEW, you might not know who Ricky Starks is. Ricky Starks is currently signed to AEW. AEW being the company that CM Punk most recently left, actually was fired from because of all of the crazy shenanigans that happened at All In 2023. Here's the thing, before CM Punk was canned from AEW, CM Punk and Ricky Stark were slowly starting to develop an incredibly interesting feud, a feud that I think was about to develop into some pay-per-view matches. Because when CM Punk left, Ricky Starks was one of those budding stars that now all of a sudden, now that Punk was gone, could flourish more, but didn't have that opposing big baby face on Collision to go up against. And that's where Bryan Danielson stepped in to give us the great match between Danielson and Ricky Starks. I strongly believe that that was originally meant to be CM Punk versus Ricky Starks. So what I'm saying is that we have some unfinished business that never really got to be started in the first place over in AEW. And a lot of people are reading the really obvious tea leaves. Ricky Starks is nowhere to be found on AEW television. A lot of people think that Ricky Starks is on his way out of AEW and very likely headed to the WWE. And if that were to happen, and maybe it happens sometime soon, I would love for CM Punk and Ricky Stark to get this dance going again and give us the match and feud that we never really truly got on AEW. It would be one hell of a way to introduce Ricky Stark to the WWE universe as well. It would be an incredibly memorable feud that would instantly cement him as a top player in the WWE. And let's be honest, the WWE is not shy about rolling out the red carpet for recently signed AEW talent. Look at Jade Cargill and, of course, Ethan Page, who basically instantly won gold in NXT after coming over from AEW. Obviously, there's some external factors that would prevent this from happening, like maybe another organization offers Ricky Starks more money and he goes over there. Maybe he re-signs with AEW. Who the hell knows? But the fact remains is that I want to see this very, very much. Duh. Obviously, Seth Rollins. I feel like I would just be wasting your time if I talked about this because this is a feud that's inevitable. Is it CM Punk's first feud when he comes back to the WWE? I don't think so. Mostly because I think that CM Punk is going to return well before WrestleMania. And I firmly believe that this is a WrestleMania feud. Do I want to see this? Shit, yeah. Do you want to see this? Abso-fucking-lutely. It's just it's one of those really obvious options that doesn't really give me a lot of room to talk about. We already know the history. We know the feud. We know that this was likely supposed to happen at last year's WrestleMania, albeit because of CM Punk's injury. So this is definitely in the horizon. It's coming at sometime soon. It's coming faster than Veer, folks. I kind of alluded to him earlier by why not Ethan Page? When I ask people about who's likely to get called up from NXT to the main roster soon, a lot of people immediately jump to Ethan Page because let's face it, Ethan Page has been main roster ready since before he joined NXT. But since joining NXT, he has been an absolute treat and he has been such a renaissance for the main event scene of NXT as well. This dude already has so much television experience that having him on NXT was really just a formality for him to get used to the WWE system because this dude could be on the main roster as early as 5 months ago. And if he does get called up to the main roster, I would love for them to explore a feud between him and CM Punk. Not even just because of the AEW connection, but because Ethan Page is just so goddamn entertaining, and there's very few people that are capable of hanging toe-to-toe against CM Punk on the microphone, and from what I've seen from Ethan Page recently, he could be one of those people. And again, if you want Ethan Page to make an instant impact on WWE TV when he gets to the main roster, holy shit, this would be a huge way to make a name for yourself to immediately step up to CM Punk. In terms of wrestling styles, body types, like they're so similar to one another that I feel like they would just mesh so well with one another and would give us treats of matches. You could dive into the AEW angle if you wanted to, but I really don't think that you need to. I feel like Ethan Page has really separated himself away from that AEW label and really is a WWE guy now. I think it would just be CM Punk against another WWE guy now in Ethan Page. But Ethan Page has really risen to the top and has earned positions like this if they were to give him the opportunity to. Let's make some new stars, all right? Let's make some new megastars with CM Punk here. CM Punk doesn't have too many years left in his WWE contract, in his actual physical body, as we have seen. So in the limited amount of time that we have CM Punk, why not create new megastars in the process? Guys that are ready to really make that next jump. I'm talking about Carmelo Hayes. Now, you could talk about Braun Breaker here if you'd like, but I just don't think that Braun Breaker and CM Punk, I don't feel like that meshes as well as the thought of CM Punk versus Carmelo Hayes. I feel like the braggadocious nature of Carmelo Hayes works really well with the almost pessimistic, condescending, pissed off old dude that CM Punk can be sometimes. Give me that old man anger versus the young, braggadocious dude that wants to make a name for himself off the back of the aging old dude. I feel like that's enough of a story right there that makes me want to see this match. But again, I really just want the WWE to at the very least be able to utilize CM Punk to generate and create more stars of the future once CM Punk officially calls it a career in the WWE. I feel like this is another one of those obviously scenarios because everybody wants to see CM Punk versus John Cena. I also don't hate the idea of it being a WrestleMania because everybody and their dog believed that it should have been John Cena versus CM Punk at WrestleMania 27 and it never happened. This could just be a battle between two veterans that now respect each other, but the history is just too rich to not revisit at some some point during John Cena's retirement tour. Many people would say that CM Punk and John Cena are each other's best feuds in the WWE. Let's not forget the legendary feud that led into the Summer of Punk and gave us that unforgettable match at Money in the Bank 2011. That was a match and a feud that saved a lot of wrestling fans from quitting. Yours truly being one of those. That was the match and the feud that allowed me to stick around and continue to watch the admittedly very shitty product that WWE was peddling out back in 2011. You just gotta do CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. I don't think that you can just have the line of, I refuse to lose to Dusty's Kid from CM Punk to Cody Rhodes during the Royal Rumble, and then Cody Rhodes immediately eliminating CM Punk right after that, and you don't build anything off of that. You gotta. These guys have crossed paths before, but never actually properly got the cross paths. You see, when CM Punk was a star in the WWE, Cody Rhodes was kind of struggling to make a name for himself in the WWE. They had matches, sure, but not matches between two established megastars. The established star was CM Punk, and the struggling dude was Cody Rhodes. And then they crossed paths again in AEW. They were on AEW at the same time, and they never had a match or a feud against one another on AEW. And somehow, some fucking way, hell froze over to the point that both of those dudes that were in AEW are now in WWE today. You have to. You couldn't do it when they were in WWE. You couldn't do it when they were in AEW. Now that they're both back in the WWE, you have no reason not to. Look, this one's just a personal choice, okay? It's a personal choice. I love CM Punk to death. I credit my current existence as a wrestling content creator to CM Punk, and I adore Dominic Mysterio. Two of the best things that could happen to me as a wrestling fan coming together would make my mind explode. And you can absolutely explore the past with this. When CM Punk was singing happy birthday to Rey Mysterio's daughter, you could say that maybe that traumatized Dominic Mysterio and turned him into the evil, dastardly man that he is today. But I'm not trying to overcomplicate this, you know? I'm not trying to come up with anything deeper here. I just want CM Punk versus Dominic Mysterio at some point. I know that CM Punk's first in-ring match during the WWE Holiday Tour was against Dominic Mysterio, but that was not televised, so it doesn't count. So please revisit it again, WWE. Please and thank you. All right, folks, those are my picks. I'm done. Get out of here.